back to Holistically Healthy TV. I am your host, Jim Burdumy, and 'tis the season for the holidays, and we are approaching 2017. It is almost Christmas time, so for those of you that are celebrating Christmas, you're going to be probably gathering around with family and eating a lot and indulging in things that maybe you typically don't do. So I thought this would be a really good time to do a video on staying healthy and happy during the holidays, because for some it can be a very happy and merry time, but then for others it might be a stressful time with a lot of running around and getting presents and having to get ready for people coming over or getting ready for travel. I know that there's a lot of people traveling this time of year, so I wanted to go over some tips to make your holiday season a little bit more effective, hopefully even maybe a little bit more stress-free, and then to do that in a healthy way where you can still participate in some of the activities or the food that your family is going to be having, but this way you don't have to feel like you're completely going off of your program or your regimen that you might be doing right now, or something that you might be thinking about doing come 2017. So the first one that I wanted to point out is know what your goal is. So whether you have a goal that you're going to be committing to for 2017, or you're already living your goal or working towards your goal currently, know what that is. And that's really, really important, because if you have no idea what you're trying to do and you don't have an end result in mind, then you're kind of just chasing your tail and you're not really clear on what path you should be on, really what you should be doing. And so knowing what your goal is really, really important, because if you know where you're going, or if you can at least visualize where you want to be, it's going to be a lot easier for you to get there. So if you don't have a goal right now, or you have a goal that maybe you're going to be considering doing, think about maybe trying it now and challenging yourself a little bit before the holidays start, so this way you don't feel like it's completely starting at ground zero, and then come January 1st you're going to be like, oh wow, now I really have to get into it because I'm behind the 8 ball. So challenge yourself a little bit and try to get into it a little bit now and see if that works. Be prepared. Like I mentioned, there's a lot of people traveling. I have some of my clients traveling, and there's a lot to think about when you're traveling. You know, you're not going to be at home, you're not going to be in your own element. You have to get on an airplane sometimes, or whether you're traveling by train or car, whatever it is, but you want to be prepared, especially with good snacks. Now, if you're traveling on an airplane, you don't want to eat too heavy before going on the airplane, because it's very, very stressful to travel via an airplane. And of course, you're going to be sitting there in an airport, sometimes 2 hours, and especially because of the holidays, maybe it's even longer. Hopefully your flight doesn't get delayed. And instead of having to resort to eating airline food, you can at least have some good snacks that can help you along, and of course keep your blood sugar even too. So things that travel really well are any kind of jerkied meats, any kind of dried fruits, nuts or seeds are always really, really good. So you can always make your own trail mix and throw some dried fruit in there, like either raisins or cranberries, mixed with some almonds and cashews, as long as you're okay with eating nuts and seeds. And then also any kind of chips. So there's different veggie chips, kale chips, quinoa chips, things like that. They're readily available now in gluten-free options and organic options. Even I think Kettle Cooked makes an organic kettle cooked option for potato chips. So any number of those could be a really good option. And even fresh fruit can travel really well, things like pears and apples, and at least that has a little bit of fiber and some good quality water, as we'll mention in a second, but at least it has actually some real water inside of it to kind of help keep you hydrated. So when you're traveling though, food is sometimes a challenge, because you're going over to somebody else's house, and whether you're bringing a dish, if you're traveling locally and you're bringing a dish, it might be better for you to bring something that is in line with your core values. So if you eat organic food like I do and my family does, we're going to be bringing salmon, wild caught salmon, to my family's house on Christmas Eve. So that's tomorrow. So the thing is that I'm not just going to be bringing any kind of salmon or just having to resort to eating farm-raised fish while I'm there. I can eat some wild-caught salmon that's really, really good, in line with my core values, going to make me feel good, and that's something that I can feel good about after I eat it, and not necessarily feel stuffed or low energy, things like that, where you might feel that way if you have more lower quality food, especially if you're used to eating more high quality food. Then that's going to be really, really important, because the more you eat higher quality food and then you resort back to lower quality food, you can feel it, at least I can, a lot more, and it affects you a lot differently. So food, think about bringing your own food. And again, if you're traveling, whether it's out of the country, out of the state, try to do a quick Google search, whether it's on your phone, using a maps program, or just on the computer, in the internet browser or something like that. Try to find somewhere that has some organic, locally grown food that you can go buy. And even if you're just buying snacks, and allow yourself to have some snacks before you eat. So if you're eating high quality snacks before you're about to go to dinner, let's say you're not bringing a dish and you know that there's probably not going to be the best food there, then have a good high quality snack before you go, or eat a decent sized meal before you go, so this way you don't feel ravenous and you don't have to feel like you're only indulging in food. And then this way you can still partake and participate in some of that food if you just wanted to have a little bit of it. But the next one, and I'll come back to the water, but the next one, if you're going to be doing that, you just have some effective communication with your family members or with your friends. And if they say, hey, how's it going? What have you been up to? Let them know. Let them know what journey you're on. Share with them what your goals are. And hopefully they're going to be open to listening to you and supporting you and your goal and or dream. So this way you won't feel like an outsider, and hopefully that they can be on board with it. And who knows, maybe you wind up even inspiring them for 2017 or right after the holidays. And maybe you inspire them to do the same. And now you might have completely changed their life for the better. So that's a good silver lining right there that you can focus on. But effective communication is really, really important, because you can say, look, I'm not that hungry, or, I have an intolerance to this, it's homemade, so I'll try maybe a little bit of it, but I'm not going to have too much. I hope you understand, something like that. And as long as you respectfully communicate that to others, and of course you have a supportive group that you're with, again, hopefully they'll all be on board. But the other thing that you want to really, really focus on at really any point, but especially if you're traveling, is high quality water. And the two, if you haven't seen a video where I talk about water yet, the two most effective waters that I like, or the most good tasting and high quality waters, are Fiji and Evian. I would actually put Evian first and then Fiji second. It's not very easy to find Evian in airports, but it is easier to find Fiji in airports. A lot of those NBC News stores will carry Fiji. A lot of the other food places will just carry Aquafina or something other low quality. So it's really, really important to get some high quality water, and also carry a little thing of Celtic sea salt, or any other high quality sea salt, whether it's Himalayan or New Zealand or something like that. But I particularly like Celtic. And that, if you don't know, adds minerals to the water, which increases obviously the mineral content, and helps to give your body something to hold on to, so it's not just flushing through the kidneys. And then, so don't overdo it. So you want to have a little bit of balance, as we have here represented by the yin and yang symbol. So when you're out and about, we've covered a lot of things around nutrition and even thinking, because you have to actually give some thought for your goals. And so, having a goal that you're working towards is positive thinking as opposed to negative thinking. So we've talked about thinking, nutrition, hydration, and of course we also have to talk about sleep and exercise. So if you're traveling, or if you know that you're going to have a big meal and you already belong to a gym, or you have means to exercise, then I would recommend trying to get as much sleep the night before of the big day, and try to get a nice exercise bout in to ramp up your metabolism, start burning some extra calories, and you'll kind of have an appetite for really good food. And if you did some of the other tips that we talked about here, then when you get to the party or to whoever's house you're going to, you might not feel as bad as indulging in a little bit of cheesecake or something like that for dessert. And so it could be a little bit more guilt-free. But remember, don't really beat yourself up over any of these things, because this isn't something that you would typically do all the time, and you're still kind of within your core values. Because if you're not within your core values, and sometimes you have that inner conflict with yourself, you kind of feel guilty, you feel down on yourself. So at least this way, if you're doing some of these things, it will take some of that away or completely eliminate it anyway, because you know that you've done something really, really good for yourself and you made the right choices, where you could always just say, screw it, I'll just do it, whatever, or I'll just start January 1st in 2017. But if all of that is working against your goal, that's where you have that inner conflict. So to keep that in mind. So with the exercise, I would recommend trying to get as much exercise in as you can, given that you've had enough sleep, that you feel good enough. And if you don't, then maybe it's a good time for you to do some working in exercise. As Paul Chek would say, working in, it's a phrase that he coined. I've talked about that in the past, but if you don't know, that would be the opposite of working out. So if you have a working out, then there has to be a working in, as yin and yang shows us. So if there's a male, there has to be a female. If there's up, then there has to be down. So if there's working out, then there has to be a working in, which would be more of the equivalent of doing some slow walking, some yoga, some tai chi, qigong, breathing exercises. You can essentially turn any exercise into a work-in exercise, as long as you know how to do it and understand the concept of it. So exercise is really important, and of course sleep. So I was talking with one of my clients who's going to be traveling out of the country, and she's going to be with her family, who kind of stays up really, really late. And so she's been working with me for quite some time now, and she's in the habit of getting to bed on time, and has been feeling really, really good when she wakes up, as opposed to being tired that she was before. So one of the things I recommended to her is that if you're able to possibly get a nap during the day, then that's always a good option. And she's going to be staying there, so it's not like she's only just going to be going for one night, so she's going to be there for longer than a week. And so if you know that you're going to be staying up a little later, that's also where the effective communication comes in, because if you know they're going to be staying up till 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, and you're used to getting to bed at 10 or 10:30, you just have to effectively communicate, hey, I've had a great day with you guys, I can't wait to have an even better day tomorrow, I got to get some sleep. It's 12 o'clock, I'm already pushing it a little bit too much, right? You've kind of already bent your core values a little bit around sleep to accommodate them, because you haven't seen them for a while, because you like the activities or the conversation that you're having. And that's okay. But the thing is that if you get to sleep too late, then maybe you won't feel good the next day, or you're getting your immune system down. So that, in combination with traveling and maybe not having as good of food, hopefully you don't get sick or something like that. And that's not really ideal over the holiday season. So, again, effective communication, try to get as much sleep as you possibly can that is, going to work for you. And those are my tips for you for this holiday season. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you want to learn more about any of the things where I go deeper, I do have an online coaching program. Of course, there's always the option to work with me one-on-one, but I also have an online coaching program that's 12 weeks that takes you deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole with this. Plus, it goes into fitness and managing your lifestyle and figuring out the best way for you. So it goes really deep into nutrition and sleep and what times you should be getting to sleep. And the whole program is tailored around living a healthy lifestyle and how to incorporate that into your life. And then, of course, you're added into a private Facebook group, and there's always some bonuses for signing up. And right now, that is actually a special price that I'm running. It's not an introductory price, but it's a special pricing for the holidays of only $4.97. So that's actually really, really good, because I'm doing 50% off right now. So it's only $4.97 for a full 12-week course. And so if you wanted to work with me directly one-on-one, that would be a little bit more. But I encourage you to set up a free 15-minute consultation with me. We could either do it, if you live in the area, we could do it in person, or we could always do it over the phone, or we could always do it over Skype. So it's kind of in person, face-to-face. But that is free to everyone out there. I always encourage people to just set up a free call with me so we can talk a little bit about your goals, what you're trying to achieve, how you've been doing with it, what's been working, what's not been working, and see if it's even a good fit to work together. And I even just try to give you some tips right then and there over the phone so you can incorporate them right away. And so there's no pressure. to do that, and I would be happy to talk to you over this holiday season or after the new year. So please check that out, and if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I would love to address them in another video. Also, please like it wherever the button is going to be, usually below. Please like it, subscribe, share this video. I'd love this information to get out there. Share this with people that you know who might be traveling, who have a hard time with the holidays, if you found this helpful. So again, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, so this way you can have updates anytime that I release something new, which is pretty frequently. So I look forward again to sharing something with you soon, and have a good, healthy, happy holiday, because together, you and I, we're getting healthier every day.